So you're planning to invest in an iPad for digital art but are confused as to which one is right for you because of the different variants that are available, then this video is definitely for you. So you fall in one of these categories. You're wanting to start digital art as a hobby, or just buying iPad for other users but want to use Procreate app as well, which is one of the best digital art software for illustrations, etc., only available on iPad. Or you want to become a digital artist and make illustrations on iPad. For professional work you need it. Or you are already a digital artist and have been using iPad for some time and want to upgrade your tools. In this video, we will be discussing about different variants and the current models that are available, different features that you should be considering as a digital artist before investing in an iPad, and my experience of using iPad. So if you don't already know, I have been doing digital art for 4 years now, and I hope my experience and story helps you with your decision. So currently there are 4 kinds of iPads that are available in the market. One, we have iPad Pro, then iPad Air, the regular iPad, and iPad Mini. We will be discussing about their current model, the latest launched models, and the model which was launched before that. So first, let's start talking about iPad Pro. There are 2 kinds of sizes that are available in this variant. One is 11 inches and the other one is 12.9 inches. The iPad which was launched last year in 2022 supported M1 chip, and the one which is currently launched in October 2022 has M2 chip. The 11-inch iPad which was launched last year is the 3rd generation iPad Pro, and 12.9 inches was the 5th generation, and the current 11-inch iPad Pro with M2 chip is the 4th generation one, and the 12.9 inches one is the 6th generation one. So these are just names so that you know which model you are buying, and that's based off of the number of 11-inch iPad Pros they have launched. Few features that makes iPad Pro a bit different. One of them is 120 Hz of refresh rate, like ProMotion display, which makes the overall experience of using iPad even more amazing. And it also enhances the experience of using Apple Pencil with your iPad. So Pro models come with maximum RAM. That too depends on storage. So if you're buying 1 TB or 2 TB, it comes with 16 GB of RAM. Otherwise, it's 8 GB. And that's the maximum you can get compared to different iPads. We'll talk about why RAM is important later in this video. Then it has laminated display, which you will also get in iPad Air, and we'll talk more about it later in this video. Other than that, it has a LiDAR sensor, which actually isn't very useful for digital artists, but if you are someone who wants to scan the room and everything, and you're into architecture and interior design, that might be something that you will be benefited from. All these iPads come with Type-C port except of the regular iPad 2021 model, which comes with Lightning port because of the Apple Pencil 1 compatibility. This year it has Type-C port, but it's compatible with the older Apple Pencil only and comes with some connector. Next we have iPad Air, which was earlier launched in 2020 with A14 chip, and this was the 4th generation with the 10.9 inch of display. Now in 2022 they have launched one with M1 chip, which is the 5th gen, and it also is 10.9 inches. Both the iPad Pros and iPad Air have the newer design and are compatible with Apple Pencil 2. iPad Air is very close to iPad Pro. Few features that it does not have is the 60 Hz of refresh rate and ProMotion display, which is only limited to the Pro models, and it does have a laminated display, which makes the overall experience as good as the Pro model. So if you're not willing to invest that much, then iPad Air is a great option, but do consider the difference between the price when you're comparing the different storage. We'll talk about how important it is to look at storage, and do keep in mind if you would like to buy an iPad Air for 256 GB and the price for iPad Pro 128 GB is not much different, or the difference is pretty negligible, then you should make sure that what actually matters to you while making that decision, whether it's more storage or the overall ProMotion display and Pro experience that you would like to use. Talking about the regular iPads, you can see their models available from last year and this year. Till last year, they used to have the lightning port, and it was compatible with Apple Pencil 1. This year, they've upgraded the design and to the Type-C port, but still is only compatible with Apple Pencil 1 and is marketed with some kind of connector which can be used with the cable to charge your Apple Pencil 1. Now, why they have done this despite the new design is because they have also shifted the front camera from a portrait mode display to a landscape setting. So it's probably because it's most marketed for students, etc., being a budget iPad. And if you want someone who's using it for meetings and online conferences, etc., then this is a great feature, which is the only which comes in only this iPad. But then the Apple Pencil setup, you should definitely consider before buying. The regular iPad is famous because of being an entry-level iPad and super budget-friendly. Till now, it was very cheaper compared to other iPads, but this year the price has increased a bit because of the newer design. Also, the Apple Pencil setup and everything isn't very impressive. So I would rather tell you, if you do not want the newer design but want the cheapest iPad, the iPad 2021 model is the one you should go for. But if you're someone like me who wants the latest technology design, then iPad Air. Next we have iPad mini. You can see the previous year and this year's model, the chips, the size on screen. iPad mini, as the name suggests, is unique because of the size. So if you want super portable device, little bigger than your phone but quite smaller than regular tablets, then this is the one you should go for. It's great if you are into digital note taking or reading, but wouldn't really recommend this for digital art because of how small it is, especially if you're doing it professionally. You would rather want more layers to work with because of the size and smaller RAM and different chip. It would limit the number of layers you can use in Procreate. All the iPads except the regular iPads are compatible with Apple Pencil 2. Apple has no plans of stopping the production of iPad Pros this year at least, what it usually does with the iPhone Pro models. But I'm not sure about other iPads, especially iPad Air has been replaced, I think. So what happens in this case is you are only left with the stock that's left. So you'll have to check for the availability in the online and offline stores in your region. Now let's talk about the features that you should be considering before investing in an iPad from a digital artist's point of view. Few of these adds to the cost, and is that added cost worth it? Let's find out. One question that comes in your mind is, should we be buying a Wi-Fi model or a cellular model? Clear answer to that is Wi-Fi model, because from a digital artist point of view, cellular model does not make sense to me, at least, because Procreate anyway does not require internet. If you're working outdoors, you already have your phone to use as hotspot where Wi-Fi isn't available. Rather, I would recommend you to invest in upgrading the storage instead of going for a cellular model, because it does not really have a practical use case. With this, we have the second point, which is storage. Now, the lowest storage that is available now is 64 GB for different models, and the highest you can have is goes to 2 terabyte. Now, I would recommend to at least have a 128 GB model, because 64 is pretty less, especially if you are planning to use your iPad for different uses other than Procreate. You do not want to upgrade just because storage getting full, although you will keep backing up, but Procreate files are pretty large, so you'll often have to go ahead and back up and delete, and might not be the best decision. Talking about screen size, weight and portability, then iPad mini wins in that one, but I wouldn't recommend that, as I already told you, because of the limitation in number of layers, etc. But the largest you can get is 12.9 inches iPad Pro. Now, if that's the reason you're upgrading from an 11-inch iPad to a 12.9 inch, that's great. But if the XDR display is the only reason, then I wouldn't really recommend, because you'll be using a screen guard anyway. Even if you're not using it, it wouldn't really add up to the digital art experience, but would add up to the cost. In that case, iPad 11 is sweet spot because it's portable as well as large enough. But then if you want little lightweight device, then iPad Air is much lighter with not much difference in size. Next we have RAM, although Apple does not disclose its RAM, but you can get it from different tech YouTube videos, etc. But basically what more RAM means is more layer when you have larger canvases, especially when you're printing stuff, the canvas would be larger, and so the number of layers would depend on the RAM you have. Now in iOS 15 and above, the M1 models have the ability to use as much RAM as required for the different apps. But earlier what used to happen is the iPad RAM would be limited to maybe 3 to 5 GB, even though you would be having 8 GB of RAM for different apps. While using the regular iPad, when I used to face the layer limitation, I found few ways to work with it. So you can comment down below if you want me to make a video on that. Next, battery life and fast charging matter, especially if you're a professional digital artist. Next, few features that aren't very necessary for beginners, especially one of them being laminated display, which you will anyway get in all the iPads except the regular iPad. For artists, that means there's a gap between the Apple Pencil and the screen where you're actually drawing. It seems like that because of the non-laminated display. It's only visible when you look at it from the side, but does not affect the digital art. Apart from that, the regular iPad, that's the only one with non-laminated display. What happens is it makes hollow sound while using Apple Pencil. Now if it's something that really bothers you, then you should not go for it, but otherwise I've used it and this is not something that bothers me, so upgrading just because of this particular reason didn't make sense to me. Next is XDR display, which is only available in iPad Pro 12.9 inches models. So the only difference in 11-inch models and 12.9 inches model is the other than size is this XDR display. It's not completely necessary. In fact, it's not something that from a digital point of view really matter, because you might be using screen guards with your iPad, and this display doesn't really improve digital art in any way. It makes sense if you want to view a lot of stuff. ProMotion display, which I've already talked about, also doesn't really make much of a difference for digital art. But this one is great to have for professional work because it makes the use of Apple Pencil quite seamless. You'll only get to know that if you're using two devices side by side with ProMotion and without ProMotion. But again, it's not very compulsory feature for making amazing digital art. If you're someone who's going to use your iPad outdoors more for drawing, then do consider the maximum brightness available in each of these models. Now that you know few features that you can actually consider as a digital artist, you can find a very useful free link in the description where you can compare different iPad models. Now you can compare 2 to 3 models together depending on the device on which you are using this website. This is the official Apple website, and what you can do is once you've shortlisted different iPads, you can compare them side by side to make your decision easier. Talking about my story, I first came across iPad in 2018 when I came to know about digital art and iPad lettering through Instagram pages and YouTube tutorials. I found out that they were using Procreate app on iPad Pro. So I wanted to invest in an iPad but wasn't sure of how long I would be doing it, and I was not sure about doing it professionally back then. So I started looking for different iPads that were available. That year itself, Apple had launched its first ever budget iPad, which was compatible with Apple Pencil. So I thought that would be the best for giving it a try. And I made that decision and bought my first iPad, which was the iPad 6 Gen 2018 model. It was 128 GB. The fact that all these stationery items were infused in one powerful tool, features like layers, undo, redo, all this intrigued me a lot because art has been something that I loved since childhood. I also wanted to use the best stylus available, that was Apple Pencil. So I thought, why not just give it a shot with the best stylus, and I went with the budget iPad. Ever since, I always wanted to upgrade to the iPad Pros because all the people I was looking up to were using iPad Pro, and I am a little tech savvy person, so I always want the latest design. Now that I knew that I was doing it professionally, decided to upgrade to an iPad Pro 2021 model, 11 inches. And number one, because I was using my older iPad for other things as well, so I had to wait for it to charge. And you know, creative people, inspiration comes and goes. I didn't want to lose any chance when I felt like drawing. And also now I'm doing it professionally, and I needed more RAM because ever since I wanted to upgrade to the newer thinner bezel design, but that wasn't a big enough reason to make such big investment. So now I finally did that. I used the regular iPad for more than 4 years and never really felt any difference in the quality of my art. and the overall experience. I have made multiple artworks and did multiple paid projects using that very iPad only. I hope that my experience and this video helped you getting closer to making your decision, and if you watched till the end, then do let me know in the comments below. This is a new channel and I'll be posting everything related to digital art on iPad and Procreate, and you do not have to miss any of that great stuff coming your way. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I post a new video. I'll be uploading more shorts video with little tips and tricks and iPad accessory buying guide, and lots of great stuff is planned ahead, so do not forget to subscribe now. Apart from just tips, I'll also be posting some aesthetic videos to inspire you to create art. Also, do let me know if you have some doubts about digital art on iPad and Procreate, because I'm working on some resources and from getting the idea to actually marketing your services. So do let me know if you have any other doubts related to any of that. I'll include that in the resource and we'll let you know whenever it'll be launching. Also, do let me know if you watched till the end. Thanks a lot. Watch this video next if you want to know how to connect your iGear keyboard with your iPad. Or watch this video next to know the difference between Apple Pencil 1 and Apple Pencil 2.